The Bucks are on the verge of elimination after losing at home last night. Giannis is the favorite to be the MVP, but he has come up small in some of the biggest moments in this series. After the loss last night, Giannis said, quote, "I'm pissed. We're not gonna fold." We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Matt Barnes. Matt, good to have you back with us. How disappointing has Giannis been really in the last 3 games?
I wouldn't say disappointing. I think this is a part of the growing process. You know, he's a star on the way to being a superstar. You know, obviously he possibly could be the MVP this year, but this is growing pains. This is what LeBron went through when Detroit beat him up and then Tim Duncan got him in the finals. This is what Kawhi went through when LeBron got him in the finals. He'll be better for this. I'm sure he's frustrated at himself and what is going on because they've had such a great season. But this is a young team similar to Denver. And that's why I've always picked experience. I picked Toronto in the series and I picked Golden State overall because they've been there and they've done that. And the further you make it in the playoffs, it's less about young guys and more about experience.
So if you could counsel him this afternoon, what would you tell him?
Just continue to play hard. I mean, it's not like he's not playing hard. I mean, he's just, the claw's on him now. So
you already saying?
It changes the scenario. You know, I think
is that what they call Siakam?
No.
I think he's shooting 30% against Kawhi and 50% against everyone else. You know what I mean? So that's a part of it. But like I said, it's just to continue to play hard. I mean, they're just a young team. And like I said, that's why I picked Toronto, because they have experience and guys that have been to the finals and been through these wars.
So you think Toronto will definitely win Game 6?
I mean, I think they need to win Game 6 because Game 7 is back at home with the crazy Milwaukee crowd that's chugging beers. So they definitely got to try to knock them out.
Toronto's now won 2.
I need to see it. Because you got your opportunity right now. Let me see what you're going to do. Number 1 seed, you want to have the number 1 seed. You're the number 1 seed. You're the only team to win 60 games. I need you to show up and show out with me. And don't worry about Drake. Toronto is limp. He can't get to the paint. That's the problem.
Tightened it up.
Anything outside the paint, he's 4-20. Is that good? Can I interest you in that? Is that the best player in the league? Really, Skip? The MVP. That's why I told you all along. I said Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Show-Nuff Leonard, that is, the Claw, goes also known as Kiss the New Balance, is the better 2 players. But you didn't want to hear that. Oh, he's mentally weak. He's this, he's that.
Wait, who's the favorite for the MVP? That guy.
Well, my guy.
Who had the better stats all across the board in the regular season?
I mean, regular season doesn't mean much once you get here.
But see, my guy was on load management restriction.
Was he?
Yeah. For this very moment, that's the reason why he got 22 games off.
It was his own restriction.
No restriction. And that's why everybody in Toronto gave him everything free. He ain't paying for nothing.
Changing the game.
By the way, just for the record, LeBron's growing pains lasted his first 2 finals, because we got to throw in the second one too, the first one in Miami. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
What happened in Game 4, 5,
We ain't talking
and 6?
about LeBron. We talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Our man brought up LeBron. Growing pains.
It's growing pains.
It lasted into 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks. Remember that? I don't know whatever happened to him. That was the all-time superstar meltdown. And now we're seeing similar from this guy. But he's not quite as advanced as LeBron was at that stage. So here's the one thing I don't want to see from this young man. And to your point, he's still a young man. Last night, he got loose for one of his swoops to the hoop, and nobody can swoop better than this young man can do right now. And he dunked it early in that game. Do you remember this play? If we could see it. And then after this
he got the rebound and brought it coast to coast.
No, here he comes back, and he mean mugs all the way up the court. This is just me. I don't want to see that early in the game. I want him to do that. I wanted to just see more do. Do it. Don't act the part. Play the part. It's like you're saying, okay, I got this. I'm going to be a bad man tonight. Well, then you weren't. From that point on, you weren't. You reverted back to, you were a little passive, because you're right. It's a big old roadblock in there now, and you haven't evolved as a basketball player. Not that you won't, but so far you haven't. You have little to no mid-range game. This man we're sitting with, he had big mid-range and distant game, because you have to have some ability to shoot jump shots. Even if you're, what do we call him, 6'11", I guess? You know, again, you have to be able to pull up occasionally to open up the lane. And he has none of that game. So all of a sudden, it's degenerating into, I'm trying to get into the lane, and I'm going to run through that brick wall, and I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to try it again. And he just plays completely out of control. It's awkward. It's hard to watch. It results in turnovers, block shots, and badly missed shots, right? Because he's just forcing up shots.
Because right now, Skip, he's not trusting it because he's seeing his teammates miss shots. So he's like, and he listened to everybody says, well, if you're the guy, you got to take it upon yourself.
Correct.
So he's trying to take it upon himself, and he's forcing it. Running into Gasol, Siakam, they're waiting for him. Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, they're waiting.
But that's why, to me, he's not, like I said, he's a star on the way to becoming a superstar. He may be the MVP this year, but he's not a superstar and the best player in the league to me, because down the stretch, you can't throw him the ball and get a bucket. Right. His is off penetration, and he's got to be able to penetrate the key, and that's when he's at his best, whether he's going to finish or make a pass. But they know they can tighten down the paint, and you're going to live with his mid-range, you're going to live with everything else he's got to do, and that's the only MVP. Like, you can't live with James's mid-range three, you can't live with KD's mid-range, you can't live with Steph's mid-range three. That's why, to me, Giannis is on his way, very talented, just very young, and that's why I say these are growing pains. Obviously, he's disappointed himself. Everyone is disappointed because they expect him more, but it's time. It's going to take time for him to become the player that everyone already wants to crown him to be.
Also, I told you, I thought he was better, again, during the regular season and going into the series, because he can rim protect like a demon, man. When he gets in rhythm, blocking shots, he gets up so quick and so high, and he's 6'11", but he plays like he's 7'7".
Right.
And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing the intensity or the anticipation. It's like he's off rhythm in the lane trying to block. I don't see him dominate on defense.
You also got to think about, too, I mean, you're playing a team in a series now. During the regular season, you see him once, and you'll see him again in a couple months. You have 7 games, 4 games, 7 games to game plan. And every single game, something you do well, we're going to take that away, so you got to do something else. So once they figured out they could take the pain away, what else do you have to take away from him?
Nothing. And Skip, but when I look at Giannis, I look at him as more of a help defender than an on ball defender. Paul George and Kawhi, they're on ball, but like you said, he's looking to come from the backside and block a layup or catch you sleeping. But I mean, he had an unbelievable regular season. But given that they won 60 games, given the type of season that they had, this would be very disappointing. Considering, Skip, you were up 2-0. It's not like they were down 0-2. They were up.
Okay, I got you. So what I always tell this man, and you can appreciate this, I love the NBA playoffs. Some people think it's just too long because too many 7-game series. But the deeper you get in these series, the more it either reveals or exposes your character, your basketball character. What are you made of? You've seen it again and again. What is he really made of? You'll get to see it because it's a crucible every night. National TV. Well, how are you going to react in the fourth quarter? How are you going to react with your backs to the wall? I'm still not sure this young man has killer in him. I haven't seen killer where he just says, I can do, but to your point, he doesn't yet have the skill to kill, right?
I think he has it in him. I think that's a great point. He doesn't have that, those other parts of his game to fail. He's a real, okay, if they're taking this away, this is what Giannis is going to give you. He doesn't have that yet. And that's why I say, in the playoffs, regular season, young teams are fun. They're, Denver's going to win a bunch of games. Milwaukee won the most in the regular season. But it always comes down to experience in the playoffs. And you could, look back, very few young teams have won championships.
That experience.
That's what it is.
Yet. Who are you picking in Game 6?
I took Milwaukee.
Okay, I took Milwaukee also.
I got Toronto to finish it. Toronto. Drake's going crazy. Once you hear the other team talking about Drake or something outside of the game, they've lost their focus.
Man, Drake needs to sit down. Look here.
It doesn't matter, man.
I know that's your light-skinned homeboy, but he needs to sit down. He out there celebrating.
But that's what, if it's actually in the players' heads, he's probably going to do it more now because they're talking.
He's going to be unbearable.
You should never be worrying about someone in the stands when you're focused on trying to get to the finals.
I wouldn't worry about it. Hey, throw that ball. Throw the ball in his direction. Get a little high. I'm gonna right on the back.
Across the
middle.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch tomorrow. It's gonna be everywhere. Either way. All right.
Oh yeah, he out there.
We gotta talk about what's going on with Kevin Durant. So let's talk about the latest next.
And I won't back down.